Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Spikes and Heels, Football for Beginners. I'm Sabrina.
And I'm Gwen.
And today, as we promised, we're going to break down the special teams positions on the field. And there are only 5 of them, so this shouldn't take too long today. Stick around. And which position should we start out with?
We're going to start out with a position I hate to see this position. I hate to see this person come on the field because it means my team was not successful. And that's the punter. So the punter, so like we taught you previously, you get 4 tries to go 10 yards. If you do not make the 10 yards in 4 tries, on the 4th try, the punter comes out to the field. The punter will he is responsible for kicking the ball to the opposing team. So that then they'll catch it. So that's the punter. That's his only job.
Okay.
He comes out, he catches the ball from the long snapper. Sabrina going to tell you about him later. And then he just boots it away to the other team. Now,
okay.
An effective punter needs to punt it far, or they need to know how to punt it just enough to get the opposing team behind their 20-yard line.
Like she said, you want to be able to kick it far.
Far, yeah.
Or kick it, like she said, to a specific
part, yes.
Yeah.
You know, if their return guy, you're going to learn about him, is really good, then you want to kick it away from him. So they learn, like, trajectory and where the head, they learn trajectories on the ball. So that's the punter.
The punter, okay. So Gwen just talked about the punter. The punter has to kick the ball to the other team. Who's going to catch the ball? You see the guy standing there waiting, looking up in the air, waiting for the ball. His job is called the kick returner or punt returner. So his job is to catch the ball and run as far as he can. And the further he runs, the better, because wherever they stop him, that's where his team is going to start their efforts from that point. So he catches the ball and runs as far as he can. Hopefully he can keep running and get a touchdown. But if they stop him, the team starts from where they tackle him and they go from there. Now, sometimes you may see the kick returner waving his hand, the punt returner waving his hands like this as the ball is coming to him. And you're like, why? Is he waving at somebody in the air? No. He may be saying, I see the team that's advancing towards me is getting too close. I don't have enough space to run. So I'm going to do this, which means fair catch. Fair catch. So he's going to catch the ball. He's not going to run, and they just start from where he caught it. Yes. So if he waves his hands, he can't run no more. If he don't wave his hand, and as soon as he catches it, he's got to run as far as he can.
Immediately, the opposing team can pop him. So they have to see how much room this ball taking too long. So that's going back to the punter. That's why it's imperative that the punter kicks up high. And because the higher the ball goes up in the air, the longer it takes the ball to reach the KR or the PR, which is the kick returner or the punt returner. Right. So if that ball arcs really high up in the end, takes a long time, he has to fair catch signal because those guys are burrowing down on him. And he'll be what's it called? In the dead headlights target.
Yeah.
It won't be good for him. Some of the worst hits I've ever seen in football have been on punt returns or kick returns. Because you're just standing there, and if you don't signal, they can hit you. Yeah, at 40 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour, however fast they running.
So if he fair catches, that means the other team cannot hit him. If they hit him after he does this and catches the ball, penalty. That's a penalty.
Yes, major penalty.
Yeah, so... And let's show you the diagram. And as you can see, the kicker is on right here. The punt returner is there. He's going to kick the ball to the punt returner, and then he's advancing towards the other side, and they're coming at him. So it's almost like a clash, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's what is happening when you see that. So we've explained punter and kick returner.
So now we're going to talk about the long snapper. This dude is super important on punts and field goals. He has to have the ability. Sabrina's going to show you the diagram again, but the long snapper has to have the ability to snap the ball in between his legs for at least up to 15 yards. depending on how far the team is back or what the play consists of. So you will see the long snapper bent out here, spike the ball. If he spikes it wrong or not far enough, the punter can't catch it. And if the ball goes behind him or goes to the left or the right, whoever recovers the ball in that spot, the opposing team gets the ball at that spot. And generally, if you're punting, you're in your own territory. So you don't want to give your opposing team first chance in your territory.
Right.
You want them to have the ball and receive the ball in their territory.
Mm-hmm.
That means it's a longer way to get down the field to score.
Mm-hmm.
And also, the long snapper works with field goals, but he has a little help with the field goal because the long snapper then snaps the ball to the holder. And so Sabrina's going to explain the holder.
So imagine the long snapper is hiking the ball between his legs on a field goal. He places it just so, like up like this, and then the kicker can kick the ball through the uprights. So on punts, the long snapper is snapping the ball to the punter that we just talked about so he can kick it to the other team. But on field goal scoring tries, the long snapper snaps it to the holder so the holder can catch the ball, set it up perfectly so that the kicker can kick it. So the holder's job is to hold the ball, just like it sounds. And if the holder messes up, which we've seen before, if the holder catches the ball and does all of this, the kicker's rhythm is thrown off and he's like, oh gosh, wait a minute. Now the whole play is busted up. So the long snapper has to be on point. The holder has to be on point, and then the kicker can smoothly come through and kick the field goal. So you don't want, even though it seems simple, just hold the ball, catch and hold the ball.
Timing.
It's timing.
Yes.
If they don't do it right, that's a problem.
And lastly, we come to the last position on the special teams, the one position I said in previous episodes that I would never want to play or be, and that's the kicker. Because this dude can end and win games. Yeah. He has the ability. They have huge responsibilities. Mm-hmm. They're responsible for getting the extra point after the touchdown, and they're also responsible for field goals. And field goals have won many games. Mm-hmm. I have seen numerous games where the game was won just on field goals. No touchdowns were scored, and it was straight field goals. Mm-hmm. And Beanie's going to explain the kicker's responsibility.
Well, it's pretty simple, and I think we've kind of talked about him a little bit in times past, but his job is just to, after touchdown, I think Gwen just explained it, after a touchdown, he comes in to kick the ball through the uprights. If it goes through, you get an extra point.
Or you get a 3 points.
Or if you don't get a touchdown and you want to try for 3 points, he'll kick the field goal and you get 3 points. So his job is just to kick the ball through the uprights. And like Gwen said, sometimes the game comes down to the kicker. It's a 24-23 game, and the team with 23 sends the kicker in. If he misses, that's it.
And you'll see sometime if you're watching the game, you will say a huge line that says target zone. This is the commentators letting you know this is generally where you will want the ball to be to get an effective field goals. So there are a high percentage number of field goals in certain areas on the field. Mm-hmm. So if the ball is here, most kickers like the ball beyond the 35-yard line, maybe the 25-yard line. To me, it's even better because where the ball is, they have to tack on an extra 15 or 13 yards.
I think it's 15.
If they have to tack on an extra 15 yards. So if the ball is on the 20th and you in there, the kicker would be at the 35. Do they get that? Now, some kickers back in the day, it was unheard of for a kicker to be over 50 yards, right or wrong, Sabrina?
Correct.
But now they have kickers that can kick it 60 yards.
Yeah.
And I think the longest kick on record is 61 yards, right?
Yeah, 62 or 63, yeah. And I think it was a guy that beat us, Prater. Was it Prater?
Yeah. When I saw he was on the team, I was like, man, done.
Yeah. And so
I knew he was losing that game to the Lions. When I saw they had to get a field goal and it was him, done.
And every kicker's leg strength is different. So some can kick it a little further than others. You want to have a good kicker because it can make a difference in your game. If you have a reliable kicker, it can make all the difference in how a game goes. Special teams, they're not on the field long, but they can severely affect how a game goes. Because if you don't kick it far enough, if you miss points, They're not out there long, but
They
very.
are a huge, like, if watching these tutorials, Sabrina and I are Washington fans, and the game we just lost was what put the other team ahead was the special teams play.
Yep.
And they got 6 points.
The guy waved, our guy waved like this, ooh, and he went to catch the ball, and the ball slipped right through his hands. If the ball touches you as a kick returner and you're supposed to catch it and you don't catch it, and it fumbles out of your hand like that, that means it's open season. The other team can pick it up and do whatever they run it back. So
advance it for a score. It just so happens we were so far back that when he did that, he was close to our end zone. So when a ball went in the end zone, whoever landed on it, it was either going to be a safety or a touchdown.
It was a touchdown. Yeah.
And because the other team landed on it, it was a touchdown.
Oh, and you will notice, everybody, that we did not show you pictures as we have in weeks past of the different player positions. And that is because, unfortunately, there aren't that many popular special teams players throughout history. There are a few, but they're not as popular as, the offensive and defensive players. We could show you a few kickers here. Here's some kickers here that we're going to show you here.
Some of our favorites. Mark Mosley played for the Washington Redskins. Like we just told you, Pratt, he holds the record for the longest field goal on record. And another popular one that I will use on my fantasy football all the time is Veterinary. Am I saying his name right?
Oh, Adam Vinatieri.
Vinatieri, yes. He was good for a lot of years.
Also, Sebastian Janikowski is another one. He's
yes. Special teams are the unsung heroes. Like, you never really hear them play. I mean, their names, but they are. And I learned just by reading, a lot of starters start on special teams. Yep. Like somebody we profiled in the previous by wide receiver, Shannon Sharp. He started on special teams because if you look at the diagram, special team composes of many positions, but there are only 5 positions that are unique to special teams. So special teams is a good blend of offensive and defensive players that collide to get the ball to the opposing team. Yeah. Oh yeah, Sabrina, I forgot. The punter also advances the ball to the opposing team after his team has scored. Okay. So after the touchdown or after the field goal, the punter comes back on the field and lines up. Now there's more distance in between the players because everybody spread it out. So this is when mostly the kick returner or the punt returner will score because everybody is spread out. So it takes a little bit more time to converge on the guy with the ball. So yes, that's another role that the punter does. So this is the time when I love to see the punter. Yeah. After we've scored.
So what you're saying is the punter always kicks the ball to the other team. That's his job.
Correct. He's responsible for getting the ball to the other team, whether it's through failure to advance on the 4th down or whether his team has scored.
Okay. Makes sense.
So there you have it. You know all the positions on the field.
Yes.
And in perfect timing because next week starts the playoffs. So now you know where everyone lines up, everybody's job and responsibilities. Now we're going to show you the teams that have advanced, and then hopefully in the playoffs you will be able to keep up.
Yes, because offense, defense, and special teams. And next week is going to be, like she said, all about
the
playoffs. So if you want to learn about the playoffs and all of that, come back next week and we'll tell you.
It's so nice having the opportunity to teach you. We enjoy doing this.
We do.
We pray it's been helpful for you to sit down, not even for the whole game, but just try a quarter and just sit down and watch. And you'll be so amazed how much fun it is.
One day after all this COVID stuff is over, hopefully we can get together and
go to
a game or do a football party or something.
Yes.
Anyway. That's that. So catch you next week. But before that, catch us on Monday morning for our next main episode. And then the middle of the week for the next football for beginners about playoffs. That's it for today. I'm Sabrina.
And I'm Gwen. Have a safe, blessed holiday. Happy New Year to everyone. Peace and joy. Love someone. Stay safe. Stay blessed.